UFC 6 has been out for about 2 weeks now, and it's been a little interesting. But anyways, I have had a lot of fun playing this game, and as someone who plays a lot of online my career, I wanted to learn if the attributes that I'm upgrading actually make a difference and how much of a difference do these upgrades make. So I decided to test them out, and honestly, the game makes it pretty difficult to test these kind of things. So if you guys do learn anything from the video or like the video, drop a like and also click subscribe if you want to get better at UFC 6. I will be covering the grappling attributes and health attributes sometime in the future. But for now, I'm only going to be doing the stand up all the way from accuracy to switch stance. I will not be doing the takedown defense because it just felt too hard to test. If you guys have been playing the game, then you know that there's some tracking issues with some of the striking right now. For that reason, I will not be doing accuracy or head movement. However, if you are playing online my career, I would recommend going 3-star in each and just leave it at that, at least until the patch comes out. And then I also will not be doing blocking just because it's very similar to cardio and how it works, and that it's not going to give you extra block health. It's just going to give you more long-term health. And for that reason, I also would probably go like 3 stars to 3.5 stars right now because I'm sure they're going to change the blocking as well. Starting with our first tested attribute, that is going to be footwork. And to test this out, I took a 3-star footwork fighter, a 4-star, and a 5-star. And in rank, they do have numbers next to the stars. So I tried to pick the closest to the star level as possible, or like in the middle of the star level. Because I would imagine online my career probably doesn't go by the numbers. They probably go by fives, like a half star is probably 5 points. But either way, the tests should be the same. They're all roughly close to 90, 95, and 100. So to test it out, I did a side-by-side comparison of them, and honestly, I was a little bit surprised by the results. Moving on to kick power, I tested this attribute using the same method as before with a 3-star kick power fighter, a 4-star, and a 5-star. I also made sure that the opponent is the exact same for every single test. Throughout the rest of the video, the opponent is always going to be the exact same person. I also made sure that no one had any type of kicking perks to speed up their accurate or speed them up, give them more accuracy or more damage. The only problem I did run across is that some fighters may have higher move levels than others, and there's not too much I can do about that. But the one thing I will say is that if you're going from a 3-star kick power to a 5-star, you should see a difference no matter what the move level is. Even if it's going from a guy with 3-star kick power with 5-star move level, you should still see it when you move up from a 5-star with 3. But everything else moved up besides kick power or the leg kicks. Um, and the one thing that's weird about it is that the 5-star fighter is Stephen Thompson, so I would imagine his leg kicks are at least a 3. But the 3-star fighter having higher damage than him was just kind of weird to me. So either this shows that move level matters more, or leg kicks aren't really boosted by kick power. Moving on to kick speed, and I tested this the exact same way with the 3-star, 4-star, 5-star fighter. We start off with D-Rod. He had the 3-star. And you'll see here that when you land, there's a red bar that shows the frames it took for you to land the strike, and then there's the overall animation to play out. So 27 to land, but 60 to play out the whole animation. One thing I noticed is that when your stamina drops to where it is right here, the animations drop by 2 frames. So before we were getting 27, now we're getting 29. The full animation doesn't drop, but the hit speed, or like the time it takes to land the strike, does drop. When we get down to here, which would be like round 4 maybe, depending on how it's going, it drops by another 2. So in total, you drop by 4 frames here, which I just thought was interesting. And that was with the 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. I tested all that, and so the frames drop by 2 no matter what your speed rating is. But this is the overall of what I found. From 4 to 5-star, the kick say the speed stays the same, the full animation stays the same. So really going from a 4 to a 5 doesn't change too much. The one thing I will say is that it does change when you're throwing combos, but there's so many combos to test I couldn't. But this is just base full stamina. Now moving on to one of the most important attributes in the game, punch power. Tested this using the exact same method with a 3, a 4, and a 5. Tried my best not to have anybody with perks, but Conor McGregor has 100 punch power, and honestly, anyone with super high punch power is going to have some kind of perk. The test was a little strange to me. I thought the results would be a little bit different. But I tested it the exact same way. I did a lead hook, rear hook, and then a jab and a straight just to see what the damage was. And I took the average out of 10 attempts to see, and this is what I got. So you can see that 5-star does progressively get better, but the jab was kind of weird to me that McGregor was not better than the 4-star fighter. So what this does show is that possibly the move level is more important than a punch power rating. Now, combining the two is really ideal. So if you have a 5-star, get it to a 4-star move level or 5-star. But honestly, you would expect going from a 4 to a 5, no matter what the move level is, for it to be better. Especially McGregor, because he can't have it lower than 3. But yeah, test was a little surprising to me. Moving on to punch speed, tested this attribute using the same method as before with a 3-star, a 4-star, and a 5-star. And I tried my best to not have any type of striking perks. But real quick, before I show you all the average punch speed, I did want y'all to see that very similar to the kick speed. When you're this fatigued, you will drop by 2 frames. And same way, if you're extremely fatigued, you drop by 4 and then 6, and it continues to go down the less stamina you have, the less overall stamina you have. Um, but honestly, the punch speed test was a little shocking to me because the speed didn't really increase as much as you would think. So going from a 3-star to a 4-star, there was an increase, but from 4 to 5, not really. And the thing is, you could say that the game is very animation based, but the 3-star straight and the 5-star straight were the exact same animation. So you would expect it to at least be a frame or two faster, and it was not. The one thing I noticed is that when strikes are thrown in combination, yes, they are faster. However, moving up your punch speed by itself, you shouldn't have to throw a combo if the punch speed is increased. Like a jab or a straight should be faster on its own. So I just thought it was a little bit odd for that, but it is what it is. And last but not least, we have switch stance. This is a attribute I would probably never upgrade in online career, but with the way this game is, and I've heard that they're even going to buff kicks even more. The leg kicks are very good this year, and so I do think there's going to be many times, especially if they get buffed, where you are going to have to switch stances, and having that power might be crucial. So I wanted to test it out, and the way I did it was I threw regular stance, 10 punches, took the average, and then switch stance, threw 10 punches, and took the average. And as you can see at 5-star, I honestly think that it would actually be at 0. It's just a very small sample size. So for some of these, maybe you could give or take like a 1% or less than that. Like the 4-star rear hook, maybe it's not 3.8, maybe it's closer to 5%. But either way, it's a pretty big difference to see. And honestly, going to a 5-star, it keeps your punches the exact same. So I can see a reason to do that. Or 4-star, and especially doing that can throw off your opponent when they're not expecting you to be just as powerful. But that's all I got for you guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, and leave a comment for how you guys think I should test out the grappling or the health, and which one you guys want to see first.